Now, this is a feature I've been waiting my whole life for, a robot vacuum with a bagless design in its base. Now I can see how full it is and the things that it is picking up, and emptying this thing out is super easy. Now, one thought I do have though is that I don't really want to see all the junk that is in there. I don't want that displayed out for everyone to see, but one good thing is that the base of this thing is nice and small, and I can really stash this thing wherever I want. That way, on occasion, I could just go over, maybe peek behind the couch or wherever it is, see how full that dustbin is, and then just empty it out really easily. Now, let's dive into what we're getting with the Eureka E20 Plus, but first, I want to thank Eureka for sending this product out and sponsoring today's video. Let's start with all the features that we're going to be getting in this base station. First things first, and the most obvious, is that transparent bag-free base station. It says that it can hold up to 45 days worth of vacuuming stuff in this, and that's obviously going to depend on how much junk you have. If you got a lot of pets, it's probably going to fill up a lot faster, but it's clear so you can see when it needs to be emptied. Now, this is the predecessor to the E10, and the cool thing about the new design here is that it has a lock on the top of the canister, and this is going to lock that canister into the base station so you can use the handle to actually pick this up and move it around. Inside of that canister is going to be a multi-cyclone dust collection, and the cool thing with this one right here is that you can open it up, and on the top here we have got a filter on top that is easily accessible. You pull that out and you can actually get to that cyclone feature and clean that out really easily, which is something that I very much appreciate. I've had vacuums before that I've had features like this, but you can't get into them and you can't really clean that part out and you see all the dust in there, but this one you can, so I'm happy for that. On the back of the base station, we have another filter that's easily accessible. At the very top is going to be a speaker, and then down below that, we have got a section for wrapping up our cable and then a power on and off switch. Down at the very bottom is going to be the charging port to this vacuum and where the vacuum hooks up to the base station to suck everything out of that vacuum. Now, on the actual vacuum, we are getting a LiDAR sensor on top, which is great for mapping the floors and the area. We get physical buttons on the top too, so you don't have to use the app to use this vacuum. You can use the physical buttons. We've got Duo Detect AI sensors on the front, and that is going to be used for 3D obstacle avoidance. There are no cameras on the front like we're seeing with some of the high-end models, which gives us better privacy control. On the back of the device, there is the dustbin. Now, when you open up this dustbin, it's kind of a two-in-one feature. We've got the ability to open up to the top and look at the filter inside, which you are going to want to clean on occasion. We've got another lever that is going to open up the full dustbin so we can see inside and empty that out if we need to. Hopefully it'll all go into the base station. And then we've got a reservoir here on the side, which is where we are going to add the water that is needed for that mop pad. So all of that is going to be here in the dustbin. Now, speaking of the water, on the bottom of the device, we can see where the mop pad is. This is a pretty basic mopping feature on here, but we do have the ability to remove that mop pad and wash it up. It does come with a backup mop pad in the box, so you can replace it with a clean one while the other one is being washed and dried. Now, another cool thing with the mop pad on the device is that it does have a lift feature of 10 millimeters, so it doesn't drag that dirty mop pad on the carpet. We've got dual brushes on the front, which I think is a must for any vacuum that I use. That way these giant wheels on the side don't roll over and crush anything like I've seen with other vacuums that I've tested in the past. In the middle of the vacuum is the anti-hair tangle brush. So no hair is going to be tangled up in this specific design right here. It all tapers down to one end, drops off, and then falls into the vacuum, so you're not gonna have any tangles on here. Now, this vacuum also does come with a tool where you can brush some of the dust off, or even has a small knife so you can cut any string or hair that might get caught on this thing, but for the most part, it's not going to with this design, which is pretty cool. Also, this vacuum right here has 8,000 PA of suction, which is quite impressive. This is the suction power that I was seeing on high-end models last year. So to be able to get that now at this price range is really nice to see. All right, so as we can see with the hardware from this device, the E20 Plus is a vacuum first device with the ability to mop. So for me, this is something that's going to be ideal to use upstairs where it is mostly carpet and I've got some tile in the laundry room and bathrooms. Now, that's not to say this thing can't be a great option for tiled areas. With the vacuuming that you're seeing on here and the light mopping pad on the back, it's gonna be great for any situation that you're using it in. But if pet hair and dust and dirt is your primary focus, this is definitely the one we want to take a look at. So with that said, let's go ahead and start testing out its capabilities. capabilities and see how well it picks things up. So I thought it would be fun to run a test with this vacuum. What I want to do is I want to see how much stuff this thing can actually pick up in addition to all the other vacuuming we've been doing around the house. So our current vacuum schedule around the house is that I do have a robot vacuum that goes around once a week. And then my wife also uses one of those like stick vacuums to vacuum the house instead, just to get some of the areas that the vacuum can't, mostly like the stairs and stuff like that. But she just does the whole top level of the house. Now, unfortunately, today the vacuum has already gone off, but we're gonna run it anyway. In fact, it's running right now and it's doing a mapping of our top floor here. It is super quiet, so I don't think it's doing like a turbo mode or anything with its vacuum, so we're not getting that full suction out of it, but I'm gonna be curious to see how much it actually collects doing its first run here, considering the other vacuum has already gone off today. Now, something else that I'm really focused on with this vacuum is being a pet owner. Whether you got dogs or cats, shedding hair all over the house is the worst. Now, we have got 2 kittens here that are growing up quickly, so I'm gonna be curious to see how much hair is gonna be picked up and maintained by this vacuum. All right, here's the first test. We're gonna see this cyclone fill up with everything that it has picked up in today's vacuum. Like I said, it hasn't been very loud, so I think it's on the lowest suction because it has been doing a mapping, but here we go. All right, not too bad. Even though there was a vacuum not very long ago, it did pick all of this stuff up. This thing is nice and dusty. We see some pet hair in here. We do have 2 cats, so that is nice. Let's give it a few more days. We'll follow back up and see how well this thing has done running every single day for a few more days. So after that initial run, I did go into the settings and checked, and it was on the lowest suction power, which I'm not surprised because this thing was insanely quiet. So we jumped it up to max turbo, best suction power that we're gonna get out of this. We're gonna see how this thing does after 2 more days of vacuuming upstairs. So let's take a look at what that looks like now. All right, here we go. After 3 full days of vacuuming, this is everything that we're getting out of here. Absolutely love seeing all of that dust and dirt. We can bring it up here to the window, see a little bit more. So this is after 3 days with it in turbo mode. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we have been vacuuming twice a week with 2 different style of vacuums. This thing I am very impressed with. It's gonna get into areas like under the bed where the cats like to sleep. So to see the quality of stuff that it is picking up, I gotta say, I love it. You can see the dust down here. So this thing also has so much more suction than my last vacuum did. And we can just see right there, if we look at the dust at the very bottom, that little pile up right there, it's getting a lot more of that ultra fine dust in there, in addition to cat hair, kid hair, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we have not vacuumed all week. I wanna see how much this thing can pick up with the kids and with the pets just dropping hair everywhere. All right, now that is what I'm talking about. If you got pets, look at all that hair that got picked up from this thing. Absolutely amazing. Now, something else I wanted to check is underneath here, if we take a look, this is supposed to be an anti-tangle brush, meaning that no hair should be on the bottom brush right here. And as we can see right there, there's nothing. Nothing got tangled up. Not only do I have the 2 cats, but I've got 2 daughters and a wife, all with long hair. This thing typically with any other vacuum would just be full, and it's not. So I love seeing that about this vacuum right here. Okay, let's take a look at the app and some of the features that we're gonna be getting in there. So the app's loaded up. I like that on the bottom here, I've got kind of a quick start that I can go ahead and just fire this thing off without having to go into the settings. But I'm gonna go ahead and click on the enter button to get into our options. So here is my floor layout, and I like that it shows me the lines of everywhere this thing has gone and the pattern that it has taken. So down at the bottom here where it says full, this is gonna be obviously a full clean. We can do cleaning by room, so I can select maybe I just want the office clean right there, or maybe I want the office and maybe the kids' room or something like that, and it'll go in that order. So maybe I want to jump over here, then jump back over there. So depending on the order that I want, I can actually set that up by selecting them in order. And then we've also got zones here, so I can set up just a specific zone for this thing to clean. Now I'm gonna go back to full here, and we're gonna go to our preferences. So tapping on preferences is where you can set up the different suction powers. So turbo mode, obviously, is going to be the best. We've also got modes here for quiet. And I gotta say, this thing is really quiet. There's most of the times where I don't even know that it is running in that quiet mode. So if I was going to run this every single day, I'd probably do the quiet mode and then maybe turbo once a week. In the middle here, we also have just kind of the standard. I'm gonna go ahead and leave mine on turbo. Since mine is upstairs and it's pretty much all carpet, I had set my water level to dry, but there are other options here if you want to up the water level. If you just want a little bit of water, you can just go low, and then the max water level here is gonna be high if you do wanna use that mop there on the back. All right, we've also got options here below it. As you can see, I have got mop mode, which mine is turned off, and then we've also got carpet mode, so it can detect carpet and adjust the suction when that is happening. So if I were using this downstairs on my tile floor and I've got different rugs and carpet down there, this would be a good feature to have on. So let's back out of here, and up in the top right corner where the 3 dots are, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on that. We can go into some of the other settings here. So we've got a scheduled cleaning, which is nice. Like I said, probably for me, I would do a daily cleaning on that quiet mode, and then once a week, maybe when we're not home, do that turbo mode, which I think would be great. We've also got our cleaning history map management. So you can set this up for multi-floor mapping, meaning that you can actually use this on multiple different floors and not need to have multiple base stations, which is always awesome. Taking a look here into our robot settings. So we have our customized map. You can set up child lock on here, so those physical buttons on there won't activate it if you want to turn those off. You got your do not disturb mode, areas, time zones, different things like that into the robot settings. Another thing down here is our accessory lifetime. So here you can see when things are starting to get low and update those as needed. Might be good for your HEPA filter that is on the device too. All right, the rest of the stuff here, we've got stuff like device info for more updates and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I gotta say, I love this vacuum and that bagless design. It is something that I've been waiting for so long, and I gotta tell you, it doesn't disappoint. This vacuum right here is now my new daily driver. I've replaced the old ones that I've been using before. This is the one that I now use, and I love it. If you guys wanna know more about this vacuum or to check it out to buy it, be sure to check out the links in the description. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.